Hopefully he'll,
There you
there he is, he's in now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was at a restaurant last week.
You did have it?
It's fine.
That's the only
Oh,
one where
perfect,
the
okay.
attorney is.
There we go.
We're sharing a name in the restaurant. You know,
This is
I'm
better.
gonna change mine to Chick-fil-A, I'm gonna legally change that.
And you'll see that's you, isn't it? Mr.
I can see
Captain?
that art.
We can just call me Chick.
Yeah, he's the,
Yeah, it's just that on the attendees, there's a Michael C as well, which must be,
Have you?
I'm guessing that's somebody else. I wanna make sure that there's two Michael Cs on the list. So the Michael C that's a panelist, can you just unmute yourself and let me know that you're Mr. Campion? I haven't got the wrong one.
That's me.
There we go.
There we go. Right, we're cooking with gas now. All right. There we go.
That's an old bit good.
Is it?
Nope.
Wait. All right, so, right, hold on. Oh my gosh, when I don't know, they're sitting on my phone. All right, so, no more further ado, apologies. I'd like to open the planning board zoning board of adjustment for Flemington Borough is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. This in-person and virtual meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Both adequate and electronic notice of this in-person and virtual meeting has been provided by way of publication in the Huntingdon County Democrat and Korean News newspapers on or about January 23rd, 2025 and January 19th, 2025. In addition, notice of the meeting was posted on the door of the Borough of Flemington Municipal Building located at 38 Park Avenue and any handicapped accessible entrances thereto. Posted on the municipal website, provided to the municipal clerk and distributed to all persons, if any, requesting copies of the same. This meeting is being recorded with both audio and video and may be rebroadcast. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to the issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision, and decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Please rise as you are able for the rights of others. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We take the roll call for our Palmer.
Here,
Councilwoman Fasaro. Yeah. Mr. Campion.
Here.
Here,
Ms. Waxman. Here. Ms. Pringle is absent. Mr. Joe.
Here.
Mr. Flanger.
Yeah.
Mr. Doshner is absent. Mr. Eckel.
Here.
Mr. Hand.
Here.
Sorry. Mr. Barker. Here. Attorney Kaczynski.
Here.
Engineer Starko.
Yeah.
Planner McManus and Engineer Troutman is out.
Or it's supposed to, yep, that too. Save money for, all right, yep. All right, item 1 on our agenda, as always, is a night time for public comment, and this has to be items that are not on our current agenda. Does anybody online or in the room have any public comment they wish to make? Seeing none, and we didn't receive any by mail, I'm guessing. Then we'll move on to item 2, mayor comments, please.
well, I suppose everybody knows at this point that the zoning ordinance passed 4-2. Councilman Long made a motion to table, which failed 4-2 with Councilwoman Sorrow. And then the ordinance passed 4-2. So in my personal experience, having served on the Raritan Township Planning Board for a number of years, and this planning board back a decade ago, and now again, and speaking with a couple of attorneys, nobody's ever seen a local municipal government go against a planning board recommendation on consistency that was as strongly worded as this one ever. So it's a sad commentary about the fact that the council had said they were going to come back to the planning board and work with the planning board last year in November. at a meeting that you attended with me and did not seek, the input and take suggestions that were made regarding the ordinance from either myself or Councilwoman Fasaro or Councilman Wong, nor any of the residents that attended, which were a considerable number. So, that's all I'll say.
Anything, any other topics? No? Item 3, council comments.
I am extremely disappointed in the council. Anyone who read the feedback from Planner Kyle knows full and well that that is filled with non-conforming statements throughout it. And having walked through the town and spoken to at least 12 or 13 couples, residents on Saturday, being on a planning board for 15 or 20 years is not the flex that people think it is. And I hope that it's considered in this borough wide. We'll see how that goes. But if you want to move forward, you don't continue to go backwards. You don't continue to listen to people who've been on planning boards 15, 20 years. That's it.
As you can say, stressful times. I think Lisa said soon as Monday at the moment. I guess not to say anything else. HR violence. There you go. Item 4, HPC comments. Dennis, you got anything for us today?
Yes, we had a meeting on September 17th and we approved a new garage door at 68 Broad Street. That's it for that meeting.
Okay, thank you. Item 5, professional reports. Do we have anything other than what's on the agenda right now? Okay, yeah. Bring back to that. Item 6, approval of minutes. We are backed up a little bit again now, right? But we're going to work on that for the next meeting.
I think there was a draft of the August 16th.
Right.
Or whatever it was.
August 12th, no, I keep messing that, September 16th in the meeting, August 12th minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
So if everybody wants to take a look at those minutes.
Yeah, for the next meeting, I feel like it's too, I didn't get a chance to read them, so
I
I
didn't
feel
either.
comfortable raising them up. We'll do them all.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
It's fine, it's fine, it doesn't matter, it's fine, it's all good. I'm working on it, and that's just the way it goes. Alright, so our first item of business now then is item 7, completeness determination. This is 3709 13th Avenue LLC, this is application 2025-06, block 28, lot 8. Before we start, Carla, or do we start first? But did we resolve all confusions? Was there some confusions about
Yeah,
what type
there-
of application? Are we best to let them start and then resolve it during that part?
Yeah, let
Okay.
him start, but the only thing I will clarify is this is not the same applicant as the prior Ironworks for this building. That has been
Right,
confirmed, Mr. Gruenberg, since he was counsel for both, can clarify down on the record, but that part we have.
right.
Ironworks never actually applied.
They started, they never finished, they never did it. Yeah, they're still OS, but that's a separate thing, but
Yeah.
one of the confusions we had was this the set, but it's in that same building.
Correct.
But it's not the same application.
Correct.
Just so
Is it
everybody,
in the same location?
well, we'll
No.
find out
Oh,
from when it's,
No.
Okay, so it's totally different.
so,
The
Okay.
different unit in the same building.
Yes,
Right.
understood.
it was it would go back.
That's right.
So,
Steve
yes.
Gruenberg Law Office on behalf of the applicant 3709 13th Avenue LLC, which is the owner of the property. And this is not the application of Arguents Ironworks LLC. I had represented them. They did not move forward on that. They are no longer a tenant in the building. Actually, the owner of the building needed to proceed with eviction proceedings. I had withdrawn as counsel on their application before this board, which is kind of moot right now since they're not even in the space. And there was a municipal court hearing and I was relieved as counsel there. I filed a motion to be relieved as counsel there from them. So that tenant is not part of this application whatsoever. The owner of the property, though, has filed this application for a conditional use permit to allow Craft Millwork LLC to be able to occupy a space that was previously occupied by Gary Snyder Fine Art.
Hmm.
And we had filed a zoning permit not a zoning permit, a change of tenancy application in July, because Craft Millwork was located in the Greenbrook area and they got flooded out. And they wanted to move to Flemington and they needed to do it in a very quick way. We had this space available for them. So we filed a zoning permit application and that was denied without any indication of why it was denied. I then filed an application to reconsider to the zoning officer with respect to that application to allow us to be able to use the space for a cabinet maker. And that was denied by way of email. And the email indicated that your recent resubmission for zoning has been denied. Zoning ordinance 2618B does not list light industrial cabinet shop as an approved use.
I'm sorry, can I ask, was that our former zoning officer?
Mr. Tillotson
Okay.
issued that email. I think he actually issued the prior
Okay,
denial. I think it said JLT or something on the signature. So rather than going back to the zoning officer one more time, we filed this application for a conditional use permit because the ordinance does allow light industrial for woodworking as part of your zone. So we filed this application for a conditional use permit. There's a question whether this is a quote change of use or not. I would argue that it's not a change of use because this building has historically been used as a mix of light industrial office. It's a flex space. And we've even appeared before the board in 2024 and obtained minor site plan approval for the Golden Heart adult daycare thing. So the board has already seen this application and has reviewed this site in 2024 from a site plan perspective. And you were satisfied to even allow a use variance to allow Golden Heart to come in. So we're here today to try and get Craft Millwork in here as soon as possible so that they can continue their business that got washed out in Greenbrook. The conditional use standards, just so that you know, are very limited. Oh, it's hot in here.
nobody ever says that.
But I gotta wear the monkey suit. That's the problem. No, I never do. I never do. It's part of the job. The standards for the hours of a conditional use standard for Craft Millwork are A, the hours of operation and all site deliveries shall be between 7 AM and 9 PM. We can do that. B, outdoor storage of materials shall be prohibited. Don't propose any of that. C, all activities with the exception of employee and visitor parking shall be within an enclosed building. That's what we're proposing. Those are the three simple conditional use standards for this use. So my request tonight is be deemed complete. Under your ordinance, I don't believe I even need notice of hearing because we're going to comply with those three standards. So your ordinance doesn't require, as far as I know, minor site plan approval, even if it's required, wouldn't require notice of hearing. I'm not asking for any D3 variance. I'm not asking for any variances whatsoever. Just want to get these people in this space so it can be occupied and used both for them and for the owner of the property. Mr. Clerico issued completeness determination recommendations. He recommended, I think, most of the items to be granted waivers. I think he believed that we were asking for a certification of a pre-existing non-conforming use, but that part of the checklist doesn't apply because we're actually asking for a conditional use permit. So that part of the checklist wouldn't comply. I can go over the other items, but we're asking for waivers just to be able to get into that spot. If you want to go over the additional items, I can. But I think my correspondence that I issued today gave a justification why this doesn't require minor site plan approval. And if it technically does, you saw it in 2024, granted minor site plan approval then, and we're not proposing any changes.
Are they just a cabinet maker or they have a showroom too?
I think they're just a cabinet maker. But that will come out at the time. I'm gonna present them in testimony. If you say, Steve, you're complete, I'd like to come in here at the end of the month if I can.
I thought you were gonna stay in an hour and come back.
Listen, if you thought that would fly, you'd ask me.
I don't know, I had a client complain that I called him at 6:10 today, said, it's after working hours. I'm like, it's not after working hours for a
Seriously.
land use attorney.
Right then.
And just for the board's edification, we don't have a site plan waiver mechanism in our ordinance, might be something that we wanna consider for situations like this. Where it's happened, sorry,
How often does this happen?
it's happened at least twice in the past year. I mean, listen, I will say, it seems indicative to this particular site more so than anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's probably why we've seen it. This building has been vacant. They're trying to re-tenant it, so that's why you've seen a couple. But it is something and worthwhile to think about because site plan waivers are justified in certain circumstances when technically it meets the definition of the ordinance, but there's no development really taking place. It's just a change. Not even to go to the zoning aspect of it, but.
The other thing I think the board might want to consider is your ordinance defines a conditional use as permitted by the planning board. And that automatically makes the zoning officer kick it to the planning board for a conditional use permit. You're not giving your zoning officer they're not taking the authority to be able to say that it's a conditional use under the zone. They automatically kick any type of conditional use to the planning board for a review, even though your zoning permit application might say, we agree to all of the standards and we're not making any changes whatsoever. So if you take those words out as required by the planning board or as determined by the planning board, that might solve the problem.
Well, we'll take that on advice and then we'll figure out, because we don't wanna have unintended consequences from doing that. But I totally hear what you're saying, and certainly we worked on the checklist to try and make things easier for people, and we've definitely had a few applications where the checklist seems to be unwieldy for a situation. So I certainly think something for the board to consider, we'll have to consider a slimmed down checklist for situations like this maybe or something. We've done, we've had that where we've had to do it, so.
We're making a list of
that's
things to look at, so
Thank you,
that's-
yeah.
that's-
And I'd be happy to
That's
talk
not the
to,
intention of that, but it's not working as perfectly as we hope, and everything, all changes that comes with little swings and roundabouts, and I appreciate your input.
and I'm happy to talk to Ms. Kaczynski and Ms. McManus. I've already discussed it with Ms. McManus about that particular part of the ordinance, because it doesn't, most townships or municipalities don't require every conditional use to go before the planning board for a conditional use permit. They do grant your zoning officer some leeway in that.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to get, the SIC codes out and things like that, but, so again, we'll see how that goes. But we'll work on that for sure, but I certainly appreciate the input. So,
I don't mean to cut myself out of a job either, but
no, I'm sure, we're trying to make, the whole idea of having that checklist was to try and make it easier for people to do applications, so that was the intent, and we certainly want to move towards anything that can help potential applicants or people moving into places, absolutely. In terms of this, anybody have any considerations for the completeness aspects of it and allowing this applicant to move forward? Bill?
Well, that's fine.
I still don't have that work though.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I didn't have a chance to even read Steve's letter that went out today, so.
We have a letter dated today. I must have missed that back in the drive home, sorry.
I looked at this from the standpoint of how I interpreted the application.
Right.
There were no requests for waivers.
Mhm.
There were fees paid for a site plan, because as I noted in the report, the application form didn't check off they were asking for site. So it's a little confusing as to exactly what this was. So the report that I issued 3 weeks ago, was essentially along that line. I offered, some, even as a standalone application, I offered some recommendations, suggestions, items that could be waived. I also suggested that if the applicant wanted to make a written request for certain waivers, I suggested what those waivers would be. And I trimmed that list down to what I thought was needed. But right now, we don't even have a plan, or I don't have a plan. I don't even know where in this building this tenant space is. That is, well, the report again says what we got, information we got, and what we don't. It's
And we
really up to
certainly
the
had that.
board, up to the board, what do you think you need, to evaluate? I mean, I would think at the very least, you need to have some idea of where in the building the space is.
Mhm.
There's a lot of parking out there, where that parking is, whether there's any loading issues that may or may not be involved in this. I mean, they're gonna
Yeah.
get deliveries of something.
Mhm.
Whether that affects other, I mean, I could sit here and list 30 questions that might be very simple to answer, but there's no documentation. No
Right.
point in asking questions if if you have some basic information you could look at and reach a decision.
Yeah, I mean, we're not asking for a signed and sealed site plan of the location, but previously when you came to us, we had a location of the building, right? We had a building layout and shape of the rooms.
I think we supplied that.
Consideration.
Yeah,
I think we supplied that.
you
We
did.
have that in this
Oh,
one.
in this one? Oh,
I haven't seen anything on this application. I think that's what we've talked about. That kind of thing will help us to make a proper determination.
I certainly can provide that,
We did.
if it hadn't been provided on this. Because it had been previously presented to the board and approved.
One concern I have, hopefully we can ask for this, or did you apply for anything to the fire, fire marshal yet on this application?
I
Did they
think
apply?
that's part of the change of tenancy application.
Right, because that would be certainly something that I'd be interested in terms of, especially considering that this is not, the group home is one thing that had certain regulations. But I'm seeing you're working with wood, you're working with, you're creating a fire hazard with, wood shavings and things like that. So I'd be really interested to know what the fire marshal's view on this. Tenant is in that space, right? So I think if you don't reach out to him, we'll certainly, as a board, will ask him for his opinion on this application when we go to public hearing.
That's fine.
Right,
I mean, that's a building code and a fire code issue. It's not usually a planning board issue to,
right,
you can get input from a outside agency, but it's not usually, that's usually whatever the building code and.
right.
We would say compliance with any and all requirements as a general,
Right.
but we would also typically provide them with a copy of information, which I think would be one of the copies that are presented to the board for input. Same way we do environmental and historical and.
Yeah,
So it's not change in site plan, so it's not like there's really,
No.
yeah.
And if, to the extent that our prior, the Golden Heart layout wasn't provided, we'll provide that to Mr. Clerk. I thought it had.
I outlined in my report that I issued 3 weeks ago. How I was looking at this. I was even suggesting on the issue of the conflict between what the zoning officer was saying and what the application was saying as to what the type of application this was. I suggested at the time that maybe the board wants to get input from Kara and Beth on the issue. I wasn't making a determination if, Steve was right or the zoning office. I mean, just trying to get some factual information, which is why I kind of outlined this in the context. And a checklist wasn't even submitted, so there's no specific request here to waive anything.
Well, I appreciate you did a very thorough review of the application, but our application that said we're asking for waivers from all the checklist requirements because we already received minor site plan approval last year. And we don't believe that minor site plan approval is required.
No, I tend to disagree with that, Steve. You received a minor site plan for a tenant in one part of the building. Like I said, now you're having a different applicant. I mean, if there was a master plan filed for this application, identified all the tenant space, and you did some sort of a global review of the application for conforming uses for parking and everything else, and you're just coming in and saying, we're changing, unit A was a whatever before, and now it's going to be a different type of a unit, then you have a plan of record. But these are independent applications, not a global. And maybe the fact that your client is the owner, maybe he intends for this to be that. maybe he intends to have this as a master, development plan, so that subsequent tenants, if they run into this.
Well,
Can.
I'm happy to provide the plan that showed all of the units. Last time that was presented to the board that had the golden heart marked off, and we can mark off where this unit is located. And that would show you, along with that survey, what's going on here. But again, what we're proposing here, if you saw what the testimony is going to be, is extremely limited. I think it provided for 4 parking spaces and 2 deliveries a week.
Is this tenant going into where the Golden Heart was approved for?
No.
So therefore,
Going-
to Bob's point, this is not the same application, it's not, we didn't give a minor site plan approval for this application, so, yeah, right? Let's just be clear, we didn't give a site approval for this location, unless, as Bob said, you're gonna come in, the client's gonna come in and do something for the whole building, for all the spots, we can certainly be open to that, rather than you coming in for individual tenants.
I need to,
Something to think about.
maybe in the future, I'll entertain that. I'm just trying to get these poor people
I
in as
understand.
fast as possible.
I understand, we're just suggesting that might be a good idea for him, rather than coming in for each one.
Yeah.
Right, especially if they're conditional uses and the wording is what the wording is, right, and we have to work with the ordinance as it is, so we just Bob made a really good suggestion that that's a good idea to do that for the future, to save everybody time and effort. But now so I just wanted to be clear that we do not have a site plan approval for this location that you're applying for now, because you've said it a few times, I just want to be clear.
Okay,
Okay. So, if you're asking to not do any of the things that, but we have to list out then what we do want, right? Is that correct?
Well, what I would recommend is if the board is inclined to grant the completeness and grant the waivers, but you do think that there's some information, maybe not specifically as identified here, that you'd want to see, such as that unit plan that was submitted with the prior application. Or anything else. We have a survey and we have photos of the exterior of the building from all sides. So if there's something else you want to see, and we can deem them complete and recommend that they bring that information, so you have it for the hearing, then you could send it.
I'd like to know what they're doing with all their waste, all the extra wood that's cut, where they're gonna be, how they're gonna get rid of it.
Yep.
For instance.
Yep.
That's.
Fire safety in the, and if because
Perhaps it would
for
be,
that tenant would be different, this tenant.
in prior applications, we never had a checklist. If we have a checklist, and since I kind of identified on here, the items I said that being complete, even on the reduce, why don't you go through these and decide
Yeah.
if you want those or not. Do you want a checklist submitted? Then I'm asking, the board's got it, so item D is whether you, do you want a checklist? Item C is, do you want a corporate disclosure statement? This is an app. this is
the
a
corporate disclosure statement is part of the application, Bob, and it was already provided.
Okay. A certified list of property owners, be not noticing.
Because it's not required, because we're not asking
Yeah,
for these.
I'm not arguing the merits on any,
It's not on your checklist, Steve,
the 200-foot list is on the checklist.
not for a minor site plan. You have it for a certification of a pre-existing non-conforming use, which is not what we're asking for here.
No, you're correct. It falls under the other one, right?
And if
I
you want, maybe-
review this as a non-conforming based on what the zoning policy said.
but that's not what we applied for. Because we didn't appeal the zoning officer's denial. We didn't ask for an interpretation. We filed for a conditional use permit, because quite honestly, I wasn't gonna keep going back to the zoning officer or appeal him because he was reading the ordinance incorrectly, and I could go to the board and say, give me a conditional use permit respectfully. But that's what our relief is. We're not asking for a
So
certification
you're
of a
applying for
pre-existing.
conditional use for this location, you're not appealing even though you provided it, you're not appealing the zoning.
The zoning officer is correct that it's not a permitted use, a principal permitted use in the zone,
Mhm.
but he didn't look at the issue of whether it was a conditional use. So I'm saying, board, it's a conditional use, and we're entitled to a conditional use permit under the municipal land use law.
What else, I just wanna hear what else is on Bob's checklist.
If you might, I boiled it down to the items that in my letter.
Space, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't print that, out, so I don't.
I would rather have, I'll just go through what's he's highlighted is not done yet.
but I'm gonna direct him to the part of his letter that I responded to, which I think is the bottom part of your letter, Bob, where you indicate you would entertain the waivers for all the other items, but these are the items that you would like, you thought might be deemed incomplete for it.
And that's what I was just doing.
Okay, so I was doing it B, C, and,
That's exactly what I was just doing.
okay,
Go, Bob.
And I don't want to apologize. I'm not really prepared to discuss what Steve has in his letter, though. I just got the letter. I just
Yeah.
saw it tonight. and I had no
I
idea.
haven't seen it.
yeah,
either.
and I wasn't aware it was officially on tonight until looked at the agenda. Boss did indicate that we might.
Okay,
be also
it's not-
on October seventh, but I didn't know
This
it was
is-
on the agenda.
Go ahead, Bob.
This is not well. The minor site plan. Steve is indicating you're asking for a waiver for minor site plan. So when I said did a checklist item for minor site plan. I guess they're saying you want waivers from all items that would be minor site plan. So let's just continue
Mhm.
in the context of what I have here, and you can decide whether. The 200-foot owners list, again, if there's no notice required. Then I guess that's something you can wait.
But
It's
it's,
not even, it's not
not
applicable,
required.
that particular one's not applicable, because if we look under the site plan.
Oh, I'm
minor
sorry,
section,
you're right, you're right, I'm
So
sorry.
that's just an
I'm
edit.
sorry. You are correct. The Borough Water and Sewer Department completed Form A.
um,
From the tenant.
That's always,
This is H.
that's always required for change of use.
again, we didn't think it was a change of use because we're not changing any of it's a change of tenancy, but not a change of use. But we can complete that form.
Mike's online, so I think
Like, is a change of tenant always a change of use and need a change of use form for the water? You confirm?
Correct. A Form A will need to be filled out.
So a change of tenant is a change of use.
it requires,
Requires
change of
form.
tenant requires for me.
Form A. So H needs to be provided.
We can do that.
What else, Bob?
And you said the corporate disclosure was on the application form,
Yes,
told us who all the owners of the corporation are.
yes, 100% one owner of the LLC. That's for the owner of the property.
I title search on here, I think you may have seen some things, I don't know.
We did.
I had some temporary waiver, I'm sure I had that at the time you did this,
Which one was that? That was
that was,
M?
that would be temporary waiver, J, title search, J.
But I thought we were going to the one at the bottom of your correspondence about B, C, F, H, and M.
I'm not looking at the letter, I'm sorry. But why don't you read off what those items were?
Sure.
B,
We already did B,
C,
C,
F.
F, and H. And H is the one that will be Form A and Form B,
We're
which
gonna
we'll provide.
yeah.
Mhm.
M is submission of resolutions applicable to the property. And I provided the one from last year, which is the only one that I'm aware of.
that's the one you provided today.
Yes. And then we move down to W, which is a written statement submitted by applicant identifying the request for waiver of checklist requirements. I did put that in the original. We were asking for a waiver from everything, but you can consider this correspondence of October 7th, that same written request. Number 2 is name and address and
I had some temporary waivers in here, if you want to do those as well, to go along.
Okay.
The traffic impact statement has a temporary waiver, again, let's wait for input from Jay. I have no idea whether that's required or not, but
I think the 2 deliveries of week will.
we'll hear testimony as to that and, also is a document signed and sealed, I left that as a temporary waiver in the context that we may not need it. Now again, this is on the checklist, this is information that's supposed to be on a plan, that's why it's being listed here. My name and address, phone number of the owner and applicant, sounds like, well, I'm not sure what plan we're gonna get or what kind of plan he's gonna submit.
Yeah, it's not, we're not proposing a separate site plan. We're asking for waivers from all those checklist requirements, but we provided you with the name and address of both the owner and the applicant, who's the same.
Just not on a plan, it's in a letter,
Right.
right, you know, and in the application also. So we have it,
You
we
have
have
that
that
in both.
information.
And
Okay,
I'm
we're
not
not-
trying to muddy the waters here, I'm just trying to actually help and see if this helps bridge a gap. If he's going to provide a unit layout and identify where the unit is, can we look at that as the plan for purposes of?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that-
again, it's what information the board feels they need. I'm just going through the checklist we adopted.
Yeah,
Well, again, do you need me to take that layout plan that was presented last time and write the name and address of the owner of the property on it? We
honestly,
can
I think
do
that's a good idea, and also because you'll be able to use it for any other tenant he has to come with as well. Because then it can just, then that regulatory information will be on that plan, and he'll have that
Okay.
one, he can use it for multiple things.
Okay,
And that should be, I can put,
Looks like that.
I don't think that, I mean,
like a site plan for all.
I recall, you're talking about this plan here of the overall site?
The
No.
survey,
there was there was a plan that had,
internal, right?
yeah, it had like the layout of the units.
Yeah.
Did I say in the reports that I got that?
It's, he submitted it with the other applicant for this site, not this.
I had assumed that you got it, Bob, I'm not sure that you got it.
It was with your letter you submitted today.
No,
It was with your original letter.
I thought it was in the original letter, you're saying that you don't have it.
Well,
so I
in
will
my
make sure
report,
that you have it.
in my report, I say what I got, what information I got. Is it on this list? Cause I don't recall seeing it. I don't-
If it's not on your list, that's what I'm gonna get you, that's what I committed to.
So if there's some other document that's not on my list that's gonna show the layout of the building and the tenants facing the building.
Yes,
I haven't seen it, so.
And again, if it's referring to the previous application and the internals, they're not internals of the actual unit that you're referring to in this application.
they are, it's an overall thing of the building showing where the units are.
So there was images of, I was thinking the internal, I'm under the water.
It's okay, let's wait till we see it.
Yeah.
Because it seems to me that it's the inside of the building, the entire inside of the building, where you can identify where it is. To be quite honest, I don't remember what it shows. But let's see,
Yeah.
we know we need it, he knows he needs it.
Yeah.
So let's have it be submitted, we can look at it, and we'll have it for the hearing.
Right, let's go through these items in part C.
So,
So that is 2 and, we went to W, did we get to 2 and 3 and 4G and 4H? Did we get any agreements on those yet?
well, he said the name and address is, it's not gonna be on the, well, he may or may not put it on
He's
Facebook.
gonna put it on the plan, he shows us the name and address, what's the next one, 3, what's that?
3 is not applicable.
Can you tell me what it is?
It's the names of all current property owners within 200 feet of the property.
Right,
and
we've
property
closed
lines
so it's
all
not
parts.
necessary. What's 4G?
Track zone and schedule existing zoning criteria, proposed conditions including bulk requirements such as lot area depth, blah, blah, blah. Existing or proposed impervious coverage calculation, it's basically what you would have for a site plan on existing conditions. To what extent?
You can put the zone in, yeah, you can put that in that plan too, you can say this is in zone, whatever, right, and what the requirements, so that can be simply written out on that little plan we're asking for. rather than the
Well,
full-
I provided, you want me that's asking, I can put this in the TC commercial, transition commercial district.
That's what that is, it needs to be something, we can check off that it's written down so that everybody's aware where it is, so there's no
Okay.
confusion, because we've had an application come once before. That thought they were in one zone and they weren't, so then there was a problem, so that's why we asked for it to be written down.
Okay.
Let's put it on there. That's 4G, isn't it? Put that on there.
Tax map sheet, again,
They already did the tax stuff, I got tax stuff, right? Have we? We got tax information from that.
no, that blocking lot, again, this is stuff that's supposed to be on the plan. Plan's supposed to identify the blocking lot information.
Yeah.
Whether you need that or not, we're just saying that that's what the checklist
Well,
will.
we ask everybody else to do it, so I don't know why this applicant can't do it, just raise it on a plan. What's 9?
A key map,
No,
key map.
It's-
A key map, showing where the property is in relationship to the surrounding property.
Weren't all these issues that you had indicated you recommended waivers being granted at least for temporary?
No, he's
No,
asking,
it's supposed to be the-
we're choosing now which ones we want, which ones we don't want. Right, do we want that, do we want to have a key map on it? I don't think so. Anybody else feel strongly, shout out, let's move along.
Wait, that
13,
one.
what's 13?
Building envelope size, location of existing and proposed structures with setback lines shown and dimensions of existing proposed structures from property lines.
Yeah, we're not proposing any changes whatsoever to the site.
Well, existing and proposed.
I think that might be something suitable for the owner, to this whole property
And we do have this.
We provided you
in the
with the
future.
survey.
We have it on the survey, so we have it, right. We don't need it additional, 30,
That was 13.
that was 30.
Yeah.
No, 30, what was, all right.
Oh,
We have 130.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, the 13 feet.
Temporary waiver for 15.
Schedule, required sign standards, sign area, sign heights, it's all sign related
Not
stuff.
Jack,
changing.
you sent to the building?
No, it's gonna be existing signage on the existing spot, whatever's for the existing.
Signage. Okay, no,
So there's
32.
no signs.
There's no change in signs.
Which sign is he going over? You know,
Whatever was previously for that, but we're not proposing any changes to whatever signage is on site.
Sam will have to go through a sign application anyway, so that'll be covered through that, you can do that separately through the sign review committee.
and he can show us which signs, he's got the photos of all the
Yeah,
building facades, so he could show us which one.
right. 32B, what's that one?
Location, capacity, and dimensions of existing proposed off-street parking loading areas, including documentation of ADA compliance for handicap and accessible route.
We're not proposing any changes to the site, the site's always been used this way.
Will the plan to submit show parking?
Plan you'll submit will have the parking on it, right? And what-
It will have,
What is?
I don't recall what's on there, but we will make sure to testify or reflect where the parking for the space will be.
In your other application, keep referencing, you did show where the parking, because that was a concern, and it's still a concern. Where this person is under their tenancy, which spaces they have.
We can
That's what
provide
we want
that,
to have
we
that
can
shown.
provide that info.
Thank you. 32C,
Calculation of number of parking spaces required by the ordinance for standard and ADA parking.
Yeah, we're not changing anything. This is an existing site. We can show the 4 parking spaces that we're gonna be proposing.
right,
And you
identified,
document the 4 spaces is all you need for that use.
Yes.
yeah. 32D,
I'm sorry, 33 what?
32D, what's
Aisle
32D?
widths.
32D is aisle width. Again, they have a site plan that shows parking, they'll show aisle width, they should show aisle width.
Yeah.
Especially if they're gonna have low, if they're bringing it further, and again, we'll hear testimony if they will kind of, vehicles
Right.
they use to bring material.
For the existing block, I think we'll assume that the aisle widths are correct and pre-existing. 32E,
Entrance and exit vehicular circulation patterns, including truck turning counters.
Again, we're not. You're gonna hear testimony that there's gonna be very few deliveries and there's not gonna be tractor trailer deliveries. It's an existing site and light industrial site uses previously on there.
Can I ask a question now? That site has no, to my knowledge, traffic constraints. There are no stop signs, there's offices in the back, like Little League is back there. They have meetings, they all get out at the same time. There's no stop sign, from the back, cars are coming this way. There's nothing. Is the landlord amenable to doing something to control some of the traffic back there?
I'm sure the landlord would be, if that was an issue raised
Well,
by the board, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's something.
You know,
that-
I don't want to talk too much about the merits of the application, but if what you're saying, hold on, if what you're saying is that you may want to hear information regarding that
Yes.
issue, then that's.
Yeah. I'd like
Because if
to-
we're gonna grant a temporary waiver on some of these things so he can be deemed complete and move forward to the hearing,
Mhm.
he's gonna wanna know what you're gonna wanna hear
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
make
Yeah.
sure that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Well,
yeah,
I think
I mean,
that's-
I'm probably more familiar with the site than anybody else because I live right next, well, not right next to it,
Close enough.
I see it.
Mayor, are you within 200 feet of this property?
No, I am not.
Just on the record.
Everybody just like.
But I did learn how to ride a bike on it.
There you go.
That would be a good property to learn how to ride a
But
bike.
yeah, we'll just say, we'll expect to hear some testimonials.
I'm sure you're
Could
gonna
be
be asking
something.
about
Oh, you know, that's, I know, it's, right, 32G, which one is that, Bob?
Location of fire lanes and other parking restrictions.
Kind of goes along with what we just talked about, really. Let's expect us to ask questions. 33A,
I don't understand. You understand what we're doing?
I think so. Let's get through it and
Understand what we're
I
doing?
think I'll get there.
again, I come back to it, it speaks to the fact, I think we need to do something different with our checklists.
30.
Yeah, that issue's
Big,
gotta
big
be,
flag.
that's gotta be dealt with.
It's unwieldy for some of these smaller things, so
Yep.
33A,
Is the floor plan and location of unit in building was not provided.
That would be.
that's big, that's the big one. Ding, ding, ding.
35 was solid waste management plan, including location of solid waste storage, screening and means of disposal, including amount of pickup per week to recycling
You
facility.
already mentioned that one, we
Yeah.
definitely need that, and especially with it being wood dust and things like that, it's extremely like flammable, and I'm worried about trees like that, but. We don't want sawdust all over the place and then some kids going on one fire, but I thought, Lord knows, I don't know. Alright, so do we assume, I'll ask the board as a general, Bob's letter mentioned some waivers, and then we've been through the items that he said it's incomplete for, and we've stated from those which ones we want to see in the when the application comes to public hearing. Is there anything else anybody feels strongly about? I'm looking online, I guess I missed something.
Garbage.
Okay, just trash. Alright,
And so,
we're clear, Kara.
yeah, so what
You clear.
What I would recommend is, I'm looking actually at Mr. Grunberg's letter, which I hadn't seen
Hmm.
yet, but I have it here, and he goes through all the items that we just went through.
Right.
And in there, he talks about what was provided with the documents, and we've gone through, the waivers that were requested,
Mhm.
that I would call temporary waivers with the understanding that either documentation is gonna be provided or testimony is gonna be provided to deal with those issues.
Mhm.
Certainly, as with any other application, if you want more than what's been provided, the application gets adjourned and you ask for more, but I think you've pretty much laid out
Right.
what it is that.
Yeah, those are on your risk.
And I appreciate you flagging the issues that are important to you too, that you want to see, so that we
Right,
can
that,
address
we
it.
wanna let you know what we wanna hear, and, you know, this board likes to hear about stuff, so we'll let you know what we like to hear about.
So I have a list of all those, we can I can go through them, or we could just know that what we just discussed is basically what your motion to deem the application
Yeah.
complete, subject to the waivers, I would say Bob's confirmation of what was provided, because there's some information that was provided with this letter that he's saying is satisfying certain items, so you would just confirm that that information was actually submitted.
I listed what I received. Apparently there's other information.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. So for instance, he says in the letter, and again, I'm going to today's letter.
This thing here, just identify, well, tonight or whatever, which items we're saying the applicant has to provide. Board decide, do you want those in advance of the meeting? And if so, how long? And then that's what you're voting on. Everything else you would, granting some sort of a waiver for.
So really, the only thing you're looking for is the information with regard to that unit layout, and that you're gonna want as soon as possible.
I can get that to you tomorrow.
With
What
the
was-
other bits on, like the owners on it, so you only have to produce one drawing then, of some stuff, right?
The
All
other
the
stuff
things
I
on
did.
The other stuff has either been provided with the letter, or we're
Yeah.
going to grant temporary waivers, and then it will be addressed by way of information or testimony.
Yes,
That makes sense? And I'll lay it, and I can lay it all out.
Ask me, that's-
and we'll say 10 days, because that's our usual thing, but you said you're already gonna be able to provide it. And 10 days before the 28th, if we get you in on that, is you've got loads of time,
Right, so the only documentation
right?
you're requiring is where the unit is in the building, a plan showing where the unit is. You're not
The
asking for
access
solid
into-
waste, you're not asking.
We
for-
are asking for solid waste, we said
Alright.
yes to that.
But you're asking for it as part of testimony on how we're going.
But on a
But you
plan-
wanna see the plan, you wanna see the plan of the layout of the building and where the unit's located.
We like to look at stuff beforehand and get a feel for it, so
And-
that it helps the process go quicker for you when we get there that night,
I'm
right?
clarifying what, sorry, that threw me off. They, just to confirm with Bob that we're gonna get him that plan that was presented last time, reflecting where this unit is and showing where the overall survey is of the property in terms of what's out there. We'll provide the testimony on fire safety for the wood disposal
Mhm.
and those other
Do you
additional.
not have any document that shows where that is on the property?
If I might present that at the time, there's dumpsters on the property, I can't recall.
Again, this is really for the board, it's sad, I can tell you right now. There's really nothing here for me to review going forward. I can come to the meeting and I can listen, if any questions come up, I can ask questions at the meeting. But, effectively, there's nothing on paper.
Right,
But,
To review.
we
and
understand.
again, there are no site changes here. This is an existing site. So in terms of the functionality, we will present testimony to the board that this is an appropriate conditional use, but we're not presenting a full-blown site plan application to change the site, because is being proposed.
Yeah.
But I did hear what the mayor indicated regarding questions about traffic and signage, and I'll present that to my client as part of testimony, but the important thing for, I think, the borough and for my client is to get this tenant in there in
Right.
this space.
So, yeah, and I totally agree, and the only reason that it's best to get as much information as we can ahead of time, is I find it makes the process go quicker on the night.
Mhm.
If we don't have to ask and listen to testimony about it, we have it already, it just makes things go quicker. But that's your prerogative, we can bring it to testimony, or you can give it as an advance.
Right.
Okay?
So
just
so
that's
we
all.
are, the one thing, to Bob's point, that we are asking for in advance, at least 10 days before the hearing, is that plan. And you're gonna put on it the information that they asked for, the name, the address, the zoning, those
Right.
other things that are all under section 4. So I think it's 2 and then 4, the little subsection of 4. Everything else is gonna be temporary waivers and dealt with again, either by way of testimony or other information.
Yes. Yes.
You're looking, you're looking for 4G.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Help me use that, I'll come back.
Yeah, so 2 will be provided
So,
for G.
Yeah.
For H,
32B, I wrote.
map we have as a waiver.
On G, I'm providing you what, I thought I was just providing you with the zoning. What zone it was located in. I'm not providing you with calculations as to lot area, width, depth, yard setbacks, building coverage and all of that. I mean, I can show what the table is, but I would need an engineer to go out to provide that additional information. I thought you wanted to know what zone it was in, to your point about a prior
So just
applicant.
the zone and the zoning
The
requirements.
zone and the zoning requirements can go on that layer,
Yeah.
like it can just be printed out. in a
So
block.
just the zone and zoning requirements, got all the existing proposed between.
Okay.
And this is going to like almost be like a little tester for what requirements we need for a conditional use application. It's gonna help us focus on which ones we need, and then when we get paid.
2 for G, 4H, and what else?
2 for G, for H.
I got 32B.
I wanna make sure that was provided. Which one did you say, Ken?
32B.
Alright, so these are the things that I am classifying as temporary waivers that you
Okay.
can provide by way of testimony or additional documents.
Right, I just marked down things we definitely
Yep,
like to see.
Yep, 32B, C, D,
E, G,
E,
all the remaining
G.
bits, we would need information on for the actual testimony.
I remember also with previous tenant, there were pictures of the interior just explaining that it wasn't, it was, yeah, like it was just useful at the time. It wasn't necessarily, it was just to demonstrate like where things were. I understand there were no changes, but it definitely helped conversations.
Inside photographs.
Yeah, that's what I remember last.
I do remember that, only because we used to be in that building.
You were like, was that a kitchen? Was it a kitchen?
Did you realize there was a shower there or something?
I
It was
did,
a shower,
exactly,
yeah.
yes, I was very excited.
Alright, so are you clear, Mr.
Yeah.
Bowman? You all clear?
Yes,
Happy, I know we're trying to get away from waivers, but specific thing that we are,
Yeah.
it's still unreal, they are going to provide something new to home down, and this will be a test case. for
alright,
that.
so for completeness, deeming it complete, subject to the granting of the waivers and the temporary waivers that we discussed, motion and a second.
I move it.
Second.
No, wait, hold on.
Mayor,
2 seconds.
Payne,
Mayor Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Hain,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasora.
Yes.
Mr. Campion. Mr. Campion,
Yes, sorry about that.
Ms. Giffen,
yes,
and Weissman. Yes. Mr. Schob. He's.
yes, we only got yes, yeah.
Schlinger.
Yes.
And Mr. Eckel.
Yes.
And Mr. Hain.
He mentioned, I already said that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
so,
because he knows he counts tonight. So he- Wait to jump in.
That's
even though they motion in second, let's actually, I know,
Mr.
sorry.
Yes.
I did notice you did that and I was like, oh, reminder, of that.
I asked her to do that, so if you want to do it a different way in the future, we'll talk about that, that's fine.
Sorry.
Sorry, is that everybody good?
Yes.
All the numbers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you all very much, appreciate it.
Before you sit off your chair though,
Uh-oh.
no, I'm not, it's not a, you usually ask me about a date, and you didn't ask me about a date.
Oh, I thought, you know what, you're right,
Yeah, so,
I heard
You-
October 28th though.
you did hear October 28th. What I will also say though is we currently already have a
Large.
completeness determination of public and ongoing and we're going straight to a public market on that.
Complicated.
Oh, shh.
Hold on, just.
Bar
Or rush.
Yep, did we say we were
It
doing
could be
both?
both, right?
I think it's supposed to follow on to both. Unless we speak to them and say it's just completeness and then, I don't know, I thought that's what we
No,
agreed at the
they-
last meeting.
Yeah, no, they're
They are.
to adjourn both.
They're coming to do. Sweet, because they just had one final item to bring to us for completeness.
I don't want to come
And
on
then we were
28th.
coming.
You'll be here all night.
So that, and they get precedence over, I'm afraid, because they were there before. So, which is, that's why I wanted you to sit and listen and we'll work this out. It's gonna be one of those that if you do get on, it's gonna be crazy late. I don't know, isn't it gonna be, I don't know, that's just
Let's
my
put-
feeling, I'm
yeah,
not gonna
put it
speak
on
for it,
again.
unless they postpone.
Again.
Sure, we would tell you ASAP.
How about if we put me on for the 28th, but I understand that if they're on, then we'll say, Steve, you're not gonna get hurt that night, because
Yeah.
they both of them are on.
Yes, and we'll communicate
Yeah,
that.
because I don't have to notice.
I was just gonna say.
Yes, we'll put you on, and also if they pull, if they delay till then for
Yeah.
this meeting. So if they do that again, we will contact you ASAP.
Is the next day available Veterans?
What's the next number, what's the next, I forgot what
That's
the next.
November 11th.
November 11th, is it? Can't remember the next.
No, we do the 18th and the 25th for 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, we pushed it on.
Yeah.
So it'd be all the way to the 18th, that's our thing then.
Mhm. Wait,
That's,
week.
but I just wanted to have that open discussion with you so you're aware.
No, I
But
appreciate
totally
that.
understand that you
And
want
that's
to move
also,
forward.
it's also great.
Yeah.
Right, it's just gonna be fun.
Carla
Alright, let's-
Carla will not be here, guessing your credits.
Let's figure that out. We'll
Okay.
figure that out.
We'll hope for October 28th, nobody else gets their stuff in.
Yes, unless you can do a speedy public hearing in the fastest public hearing in the West, we'll talk. about it.
challenged me, and I bet you I would take that challenge.
We'll think about it. We'll work it out.
Okay,
All right.
thank you all, take care.
Thank
Have a
you
good
much.
night.
All right. What, the 18th, we said one of the dates in November, to the 18th?
18th and then the following. week.
And the 25th.
Thanksgiving week. I know there was a reason for doing it, but I can't remember what it was. but there you go.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Yeah, it is, yeah, you're right, sorry. There we go. Phew. Yeah. Alright, good fun, everybody. Alright, so that being said, that, we're just talking about that, so item 8, public hearing by the applicant's request. Is tabled till the 10/28/25 meeting, no further notice will be required. Item 9, also, by the applicant's request, public hearing for Bless Wellness. That item is, right, they asked, we haven't actually scheduled a date for that, they've given us until the end of the year. So when they're ready to bring what they bring, then we'll be putting them in, so that's not an official date or anything,
They're gonna renotice them?
Yeah, they noticed.
they noticed.
Yeah, they noticed to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna announce the date specific.
Yeah, so what I would do is, I thought we were carrying both of them to the next meeting of October 28th without further notice. Now, if they choose to delay further, they can always do that. But they have given us the extension through the end of the year is just so Carla doesn't have to keep asking them for it and we don't have to keep track.
So we
Give
should
us to
say,
the end of the year, we're fine, but they were technically scheduled for tonight and now are being adjourned to the 28th.
okay, so that's what we need to say, we're adjourning to the
Yep.
20th, no further notice, and we may do that. So
Correct.
Okay, apologies if I wrote that wrong, so that's what we're doing, table to the 28th.
So there'll be two.
There won't be two, we have to say that
Oh, okay.
legally.
Wait, what do you mean? There'll be two. There will be
No, I mean Spork and
And Bless
Bless
Wellness, yep.
Wellness.
two.
Officially,
It
technically,
could.
well, there'll be three,
If we're ready, right?
Never say much to get done.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah, so
see.
that's what'll be on the agenda next time. Spark, Bless, and. let's see.
Bring your 5-hour energy to that meeting, that's
Yeah.
fine.
We might need it tonight.
We should be good.
So-
Resolutions, let's get to the resolutions. Our first one is resolution 2025-13, which is memorializing the Circle Reality decision that we made back in the day. It was issued. Anybody have any concerns with what Cara created for us? Okay.
I just need a motion in a second. The eligible,
I'm the only one not eligible.
yep, that's correct. And Mike and Ms. We're saying on this, Steve. Abarca, thank you. And Ms. Abarca.
Right. So it's on,
All right,
you
I
got,
can't be like, I got of course.
So do I put no for them or?
No,
you just, they're not
They're under
eligible.
ineligible, so if you look at the voting page that I have there, and if we just go right by that,
Okay.
that'll walk you through it.
I'll motion.
I'll second, no, you guys are.
Alright, so Weitzman, who was the second?
Nazara. Councilwoman, yes, Councilwoman Fasora,
Yes.
Mr. Campion.
Oh, no.
Yes.
He's ineligible.
Oh, he can't,
Oh,
he can't.
that's right. Ms. Weissman,
Yes.
Ms. Giffen,
Yes.
Mr. Schob,
Yes.
Mr. Schwanger,
Yes.
Mr. Echo,
Mr. Eccles not on the
He's
list.
not on the list.
Yeah.
But he mustn't have voted because we
I
had
don't think
enough.
he voted.
That was it, it wasn't.
okay,
So,
so he can't
Mr.
vote.
Dutchess not here, you've done Weitzman, Fazaro,
If he's after the
But if he
hearing,
was
he can.
present though, yeah.
Huh?
let's do
He's
that.
after the hearing.
but he didn't vote for
Is
the
it-
actual action. You only vote now and you voted then.
Okay.
Or you.
No, I voted no.
Oh, you
Wait, I
voted, you
can't.
can only vote
No.
for this if you
Can't
voted
one
yes.
vote?
Correct.
Yeah, so you did Weitzman, Swindle's not here, Shoby did, and Schlenger,
That's it.
that's all you can do. Mark was absent, so he can't.
Okay.
So that's, of the people that are here, we've got 1, 2, 3,
Melissa was here, but she's not here.
4,
Correct.
6 votes, you should have. Do you have 6 votes?
7. Sorry. Oh, Wardsman, I'm counting again. Okay, you're good.
6, you have 6, so that's it, that's what.
And we will both vote for.
Yeah, we should only have
How much
5.
of- 5,
We should only have 5.
1, 2, oh, you know why, okay, Miss Weitzman twice, she wrote it as this. 1, 2, 3, you're worth it.
Yeah, I got
My
5.
husband is.
Got it? Oh,
5 is the eligible vote,
Okay.
and 5 is the votes. We all said, yeah, we said yes, right, yeah, let's try that. Right, that one's done. Thank you. Passed. Right, the next one is item 11, resolution 2025-15, the Liberty Village amendments, I called it. So it seemed like an appropriate name for it, but
Alright, so we just have a
Separate.
couple changes that we received last minute because everything was last minute and I
Yeah.
apologize, but we're getting better.
we're getting there.
So I'm just gonna go through quickly, put them on the record. The first one is on page 3, the third full whereas. The reference to 33 out of the proposed 123 housing units, 33 should be changed to 32. If we go to page 4. Subsection 5 regarding condition 12, we're gonna take out the word completeness. Subsection 7 with regard to condition 31, after the word inaccurate, in the last sentence, we're going to say based upon the applicant's work required to satisfy condition number 12 above. And all that is an exact recitation of what that condition said in the prior resolution. Just that little, those couple words were omitted, so I just wanna, Bob pointed that out, so I wanna make sure that's perfectly clear in there. We don't have any more until we get to page 10. Number 5 regarding condition 31, the word in the third line, retention basins should be detention basins. Page 11, paragraph 4, we're going to say the applicant shall work with McManus to ensure that the proposed evergreen trees are properly placed in order to shield the phase 1 project as much as possible from the neighboring property owners on Brown Street. Those are the 3 words that were inserted. And that is it. Oh, and one more change, the references on page 13 to August 16th should be September 16th.
Okay,
Other than that, that's it.
We, somewhere along the line, I know I brought this up and you addressed the well house, that's not gonna be underwater, right? And just going back to the original. We're still sitting out there, the clarification of the Stengel Road. Ownership, I think that needs to be still figured out and worked out. Because the easements are, they don't match. So somebody, you. Don Pepe, Chris Corsini, whoever, you guys have to work together to figure out. The ownership of Stengel, where it starts and where it ends. Okay, don't forget,
You want it?
no, well, I think my champion wants to make sure it gets plowed,
right.
so,
Clear who is it?
but
Mayor, if I can reach out to your office if.
please call me.
Yeah,
Call me.
I think we need input from the
Yeah, yeah.
administration as.
We
yeah,
can
Mike,
sit down
if
with
we
Mike
prevent
and
you.
maybe Chris Corsini and just kind of figure out how it's gonna work. Because, I mean, Stengel is historically, to put it in the current vernacular, a mess. So on both sides, oh yeah, with the ownership and.
I'm sure we can work it out. I think there are some limitations from the homeowners association perspective, the DCA rule, but look, we can, whatever you need, we'll make out.
Okay.
All right, can I get a motion then to memorialize the resolution as itemized with the amendments by Lieutenant Kuzinski?
Alright, Caro, Fasaro, Giffen, Hill, Campion, Dashna, Weitzman.
Yeah, no, on this.
Me.
No hill.
No hill.
Okay.
And no Smino, I think you've got an.
Yep, Tamino's on it
Yours
too.
is.
This isn't the final version.
And Josh.
Okay.
No, you're not on it now, sorry,
Schwager can't even on this, even though,
he didn't vote,
On the
16th, I wasn't.
oh, you are.
he wasn't,
Yeah.
he's on.
Can you repeat the list now that you cleaned it up?
Yeah.
Caro, Fazaro, Giffen, Campion, Weitzman, Swingle, Show, Swingle's not here
Yeah,
yet.
Dashna's not here, Swingle's not here.
Can you repeat the list?
Caro, Fasaro, Giffen, Campion, Weitzman, Show.
Okay, thank you.
All right. The motion,
I'll move the service.
Second.
Fasaro, Caro.
Councilwoman Sword. Yes. Mayor Karen.
Yes.
Ms. Giffen,
yes,
Mr. Campion,
yes,
Ms. Weitzman,
Yes.
Mr. Schiff. Right?
Yeah, that was the,
Definitely, yes.
Right, no, that's it, right?
that's it,
That's it.
Okay.
it's all of them.
She wrote.
Alright, so do you need to, Carol, you're probably, I'm not gonna sign this one, you're gonna need to print out a new one and I'll sign that one, right?
Yeah, cause I gotta add the.
Yeah. We'll get that done, we got that done last time. Yeah, drop it off somehow. Okay, thank you, everybody. Alright, let's move on to item 12, because I was determined to make it short today. Bills. Did you wish those in the packet? Yeah?
Yeah.
Are there any bills? Yeah.
There was.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Safe drive.
Alright, can I get a motion to audit the bills, please?
Yes.
That's Weitzman. Hey.
Alrighty, Ms. White?
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasora? Yes. Mr. Campion?
Abstain.
Ms. Gifford?
Yes.
Miss, I did Weitzman, do you want her again, Miss Weitzman?
Powder.
Yeah,
I do it, Mr. Floyd.
So many.
Mr. Cho? Mr. Schlinger?
Abstain.
And that's it.
Alright, thank you. Alright, usually I say, do we ever need to go into executive session? But yes, we do. But shall we do, what's the word and when we have to do, because we're not going to come back, right?
So, I need a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss professional contracts. There will be no action taken during executive session and we will not be returning to the public, so we will be closing the public session now.
So moved.
Excellent. Roll call.
I'm gonna do it all. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right, so what do we need to do with this then? Wait, actually,
Kick out
stop
whoever-
before then.
Keep-
Well,
but
actually,
keep it out.
no, it's
Keep our people here.
Yeah, no, I don't have to do anything from that.
Yeah.
I just have to stop
Oh,
recording.
the guy has to, he's leaving.
Oh, well, transcript.
He's leaving.
Can you hit pause? Oh, you can hit stop recording.
Listen, stop. Oh,
Wait,
it's not gonna, you wanna do it? I can do it. What?
You do it, 'cause we don't wanna lose our people.
Stop recording to